another intriguing one involving a Big Ten team here tonight with Indiana now laying 4.5 in this one, taking on Kent State. 140.5 is the total. This one's going to be the late game up in Albany here. And looks like a little bit of money coming in towards Indiana here so far today, pushing this thing up to 4.5. Drew, what are you thinking? MAC versus Big Ten. You leaning one way or the other in this one?
Joe, I am. You bring up the late game here. It looks like the last one in Albany, one of the last games on the card here. I feel like, it's one of those little bit of degenerate specials, but hey, it's going to be a lot of fun here. Going to be watching it. Got to have something. I'm going to go with the dog here. I really am, Joe. Indiana is not necessarily a team I'm looking to go against by any means. They did run into the hot Penn State team, which we saw knock out Texas A&M. So I don't want to downgrade them too much. Talking about their Big Ten tournament loss. But it's just this Kent State team, Joe. I mean, 21-11 against the spread. That's one of the more profitable teams in the country, 65% against the number, guys. They have a senior point guard in Sincere Carey. He's a very good player when your best player is the point guard. Kind of love that coming into March here. And they also, one thing, if you're looking to go with an underdog, particularly one from the smaller conference, playing the bigger conference here, keep in mind, guys, MAC versus Big Ten, you want to go back, or at least I like to go back, Joe, and look at their out of conference and how they performed. And sure enough, they're out of conference against the better teams. All three of these on the road, all three of these tournament teams, they lost by 2 points to Charleston. They lost by 5 points to Houston, and they lost by 7 points to Gonzaga in all three of those games on the road. So they could kind of, step up in class and hang. Therefore, getting the 4.5 here against Indiana. I'm going to take the MAC champs here in Kent State. Take the 4.5. That's the way I like this late night game.
All right, there it is. Love it. A little late night degenerate special here. I don't know, Merril, depending on who you talk to, we got a lot of people going, not crazy about the Big Ten. Worked for Michigan State as they blew out USC this morning, but now Indiana taking on MAC. Who are you looking at in this one here tonight?
Yeah, I hinted on this yesterday on the show, that the Big Ten was considered the best conference in the country this year. They got the most bids. But then again, we often see those teams falter. Sometimes the conferences become a little overrated. The teams that get less become underrated. And the Big Ten has definitely not been a powerhouse conference in recent years. In fact, Michigan State, you got to go back to about 20 years ago when Michigan State was making that run. So it's ironic that they're the one team that has performed well so far. And I think, once again, I don't like playing underdogs, hoping that they just keep it close. And obviously, when the line is just 4.5, you have to feel that they can win outright. I think Kent State can definitely win outright, but you also have to be leery about laying much with Indiana here. 6 of their last 7 wins have been by single digits. They've played a lot of close games, close wins. Also just 7-9 on the road this year versus 15-2 at home. So they've been a weaker road team as well. And then on top of that, I think Kent State's an underrated team. This is a team that's been off for nearly a week, so they'll be fresh. Indiana is coming off a favorite loss against Penn State after beating Maryland in the Big Ten tournament. But I think this one goes down to the wire. I think Kent State is definitely a live dog in this game tonight.
All right. Taking Kent State. Live dog. You got to love those words, Jimmy Adams. How about you? Are you in agreement that we should maybe not discount the dog in this one?
Total agreement. Live dog alert here, Joe. I'm on the Kent State bandwagon. They come into this game red hot, right? Winners of 6 straight after winning their conference tournament. And the Golden Flashes, look, they prepared themselves for this game by playing tough non-conference opponents earlier in the season. Other teams can kind of take note. A 5-point loss to Houston, nothing wrong with that. And they hung tough with Gonzaga early on. It gets you prepared for later on. It really does. And then they ran through the conference schedule pretty much. This is a team that plays tremendous defense, right, allowing just 65.4 points per game. They defend well both on the interior and from 3. Indiana doesn't shoot a lot of threes anyway. But frankly, they're a little underrated offensively as well. I mean, they just put up 93 points in the conference championship game against Toledo. Kent State, there's so much to like about this team, Joe. They don't turn the ball over. So it's going to be hard for Indiana to maybe go on runs, score in transitions. And like I said, the Hoosiers don't make many threes. This is going to be a game that's won on the interior. Golden Flashes have shown that they can shut down even the best of teams. Indiana's on upset alert today. Give me Kent State. Sprinkle some on that money line.
Ooh, love it. All right, we got all sorts of dogs barking